I'm Melissa, this is Martin, Haley, and Maddie, and we're cruising America's Great Loop on our boat Cavalier. We welcome you to hop aboard and share in this journey with us.
Hey, child, up and go. A big world is out there waiting for us to live in every day.
Okay, well, welcome back to the Cavalier for another episode of Cruising Cavaliers. Cheers, baby.
Cheers.
So today, when we last left off, we were in Cocoa Village, and we left there and headed to Titusville. And it wasn't too long of a ride. It was only a 17-mile ride. We got to Titusville, and we were only going to stay there one night. A lot of people go there if there's launches going on at Cape Canaveral, and that's kind of one of the features. They go there for that. We were just staying for the night. So we got in early. We walked over to have lunch, and everything we had plans, but we made a very expensive mistake. It was a very costly lunch.
It was a very expensive lunch.
Yeah, so basically what happened was it was supposed to rain that night. And we got in, and normally I put everything away. We get tied up. We do everything we're going to do. And then I will do this in the future for sure, is take all of our electronics down. Because what we had is we had everything opened up because it was a warm day. And we had our tablets up on the bridge. And I left them there. A big mistake.
One of them survived.
Yeah,
somehow.
one survived, and
The
I
other
thought
one
they
didn't.
both did because I brought them down and it looked like they were still going to work, and one gave up the ghost. So we lost one of our tablets because basically it was the rain was coming in and getting them wet. All the other electronics up there are meant to be out in the weather, so it was fine. But it was our tablets that we used for.
And it wasn't a light rain; it was a downpour.
It was a downpour. We got caught over there. We ended up staying. I think had 3 beers.
We stayed longer than we expected, and then we even just got an Uber.
Yeah,
It was like a mile over there, which wasn't bad going over there.
Yeah.
But we weren't going to walk a mile in that.
It was a downpour, and it just kept going and going and going. So we got back here, and like I said, so I had to quickly order two new tablets to get shipped into St. Augustine, and we did that because we're going to be up there in a bit. So anyhow, live and learn.
Yeah.
so that was it. But really, there wasn't a whole lot more going on there. We just pretty much that was kind of about it. Got up in the morning and left. So
We did end up, was interesting, is that we watched a lot of the YouTube videos. At least we used to when we were planning for this loop.
Oh, yeah,
and there's a channel called Trying Not to Sink with Ed and Lynn.
Ed and Lynn.
Yeah, and they're a really cool couple. If you like watching YouTube videos, it's they don't do the loop, but they go up and down the East Coast and the Keys and stuff. And their boat is Triton.
Yeah.
Anyways, their channel is Trying Not to Sink, and so we got all tied up, and Martin's adding extra spring lines and stuff, and I go, "Hey, Martin, look behind you." He turns around. It's the
Trying Not to Sink.
Try Not to Sink. It's right there. Unfortunately, they weren't there.
Yeah.
So we didn't get to meet them, but it was pretty
Yeah.
kind of fun.
You did message them, and they got
I
right
did,
back.
yeah.
To
They
you
got back and toasted us, and
they won't be there for another couple of weeks. So
Yeah.
so it was, but it was fun.
It was fun, yeah.
Kind of weird.
It's a small world.
Yeah. So anyhow, that was Titusville. So I pretty much that's about it for.
We are leaving Cocoa Village.
Hey, well, welcome to the Bridge of the Cavalier. You can see I got my little first mates here helping along, navigator first mate, and we're headed from Cocoa Village up to Titusville. It's we've been going a little bit. We've got another 15 and a half nautical miles to go. We're traveling at about 8.25 knots and 9.5 miles an hour. And just kind of a nice little lazy cruise. You can see
Depth. There's the depth. There's how fast we're cruising. There's how far we have to go. And that's the estimated time of arrival.
Well, if we take a look at how our new navigation setup is, it's just a little cleanup of what we had before, but we still have our chart plotter over here, and that's we're actually right now. If you look down here at our autopilot, we're in route follow, so we're following a route that I programmed in last night, and then on this one we have Aqua Maps running, and this is showing us the channel that we're in, and we're just to this side of the channel. If you can see it, I don't know if you can see it, but those blue lines there are what's called Bob 423 tracks. Bob Shearer is he's famous. He's got this website that he shares all these the really right way to do the ICW on them. So we're leaving that as something that we can use as a good reference. That's the blue line, and then over here we're running Navionics, and this one gives us. I usually keep this as a little bit of a bigger display, and it shows us where we're going, on a bigger, we're headed up to Titusville up there, headed up the Indian River still, and then we can zoom in as we want. You can see that we got, we're showing all our little red and green Atons there and where the channel is. So again, all these things all add up to navigating correctly, and of course obviously we're still looking out the windshield here. And we're looking at our greens and our reds, and I can tell I am on this side of the channel a little bit. We got a bridge coming up here, so I'm going to probably take it off autopilot a little bit, just hand steer under the bridge. It might slow down for a little bit too. And that's pretty much how we drive the boat. So I wanted to show you the navigational apps that we use a little better. The video we did with Martin showing you them was a lot of reflections on the flybridge there, but we have Aqua Maps on the left and Navionics on the right, and then we also have a Garmin. So on the Aqua Maps we usually have it zoomed in quite a bit, and you can see this is Cocoa Village, and then that's the little channel out to get to the main channel, and when we're underway there'll be a little boat that is us that travels along through there, so you can see where you're at. And then Martin has downloaded the Bob's 423 track, which is the blue dotted line, and that's a real good resource for ICW. So Martin usually keeps this one zoomed out quite a bit. You can zoom in and out. He likes to get the big picture, see what lies ahead, and uses the other one to be a little more precise. So where we left off last time, we were in Titusville, and we got up the next morning and left, and we were headed towards Daytona. And Daytona, we stayed at, I think it was Halifax Harbor Marina in Daytona, and it was going to be a fairly short cruise up there. Actually I think it was like 50 miles or something, so it was a little longer. But what was kind of neat about it is, as we were leaving the marina there was several other boats that were leaving at the same time. And we actually had Dogtails with them the night before. Exactly, yes, we did. So we met them, and we kind of, it was the first time we'd seen them, but we didn't know them. Yeah, so when we're leaving Titusville. Yeah, one of the guys says, we're going to be on channel 72. Yeah. So basically, in your VHF you have to monitor 16. For safety reasons, but you can also do a dual monitor, which is what we do, and so we were monitoring 72 and 16. And on 16, you want to keep it just as a hailing channel or emergency channel, but you can hail somebody and say switch to 72 or whatever other numbers there are. And then when you get to that, you can pretty much talk about anything you want. They just want to keep 16 open for all the navigational stuff. Yeah. So that was pretty much what we did. We took off, and we were actually in the lead at that point. And they were a really fun group. They've been traveling together a while, so they were talking about all kinds of stuff on the radio, and it was kind of fun just to kind of listen to them and stuff. So, and then one of the real interesting things was when we were to get to Titusville to Daytona, you end up switching river systems, and we finally left the Indian River, which we'd been on all the way since Stewart, and we crossed over to the Mosquito Lagoon, and you went through, I think it was Hallover Canal to get there. And what was so cool about that, it was the manatees again. There were so many manatees in there. At first we saw a couple, and then we saw a few more, and then there was like pods of these ones. And
everywhere.
Yeah. And they were like rolling around and you know, everything else. We're pretty sure we were looking at some manatee sex. So, because
it is their mating season. So.
It is the mating season. So, and literally, we had to go real slow. We had to stop a lot of times to just coast because they didn't care about us. Whether they were out in the middle of the channel, and if they didn't care whether they were about to get run over by a boat, they were too interested in what they were doing.
Right, and we don't want our propellers going and
hurting them. So we would just shift in and float over them. Because you know, if you bump them with your boat at that real low speed, you're not going to hurt them. But what'll hurt them is if your props are turning. So we were being very careful. And it took a long time to get through there because there was so many.
And the other kind of cool thing about going in a flotilla is that this time we were in the lead.
Yeah.
And so we just went on the 72. We're like, hey, watch out. There's tons of manatees.
Yeah.
There's more manatees. And oh, there's a crab pot over there, by the way.
There, you know.
And you just kind of set up the people behind you to be on the lookout for stuff.
Yeah. And they tell us to when the boat, especially a fast mover, is going to be coming up and passing us.
Right. So.
And then also when we're arranging passes with people, you know, the lead boat tells, you know, if it's a slow sailboat or something like that, we'll arrange for a slow pass. We'll say there's 3 more boats coming behind that are going to hail you and do the same thing. So. And
the same with the bridges.
So yeah, so Daytona, we didn't do a whole lot there because we were there just one night. We did walk over to a little bar. I guess it was a restaurant, but it was more of a bar. Mama Fufu's.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was really. I mean, it was a great looking bar. I mean that. Remember the architecture in there, all the stuff?
And the lighting, and it was just beautiful.
You could tell if we weren't tired, we would have gone back over there at night, but we just went back to the boat. But we could have walked just a little further, though, and you're on the shore of the ICW there, on the Halifax River, is where all the shops in Daytona are. And it looks like it's about a mile-long stretch or half-mile-long stretch of just shops and restaurants and everything. So if we did go back again sometime, we would stay an extra day and go explore there because it really, you could walk right to them all. It wasn't bad too much at all. Can't report on them, but it sure looked like there was a lot of stuff there. So
we were just in and out.
Yeah, we were just in there and out of there. So that was pretty much it. Anyhow, so thanks for coming along with us for another episode of Cruising Cavaliers. Happy trails, and we'll see you next time. Cavaliers on 72 now. I have my radio turned down a little bit.
And well, the 3 of us are behind you.
Copy that.
Welcome to the flotilla.
So what Martin was just talking to is there's 3 more looper boats behind us, and channel 16 is for hailing and emergencies.
Cavalier, we usually make the new guy do bridge testing, what you're doing out front there, so that's good.
So, but you can choose, you can hail somebody on 16 and then switch to a different channel. And they were all flotilla, I don't know how long they've been together, but they use channel 72 to just communicate, and that you can pretty much talk whatever you want to talk about, you can. So they invited us to tune into 72, and we have a dual watch system, so we can have 2 channels that are monitored. And so we have 16, which is required, and then 72 is the flotilla channel, I guess.
Okay.
Who knows, crazy as life goes, we'll write a story tell to a very own. So let's live, lost in the moment, taking it all in as we go. You know I'm counting on you, not running. Stay with me, let it keep on coming. You and I need to hold on to you.
Thanks for coming along on the Cavalier. And okay, anyway.
We almost had it.
I know.
Okay.